Well, good morning again, and welcome to our publishing event on scholarly publishing ethics. I'm MJ Toohey. I'm the Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs and the Executive Director of the Health Sciences and Human Services Library. I always have to take a breath halfway through that because it's long. And we're delighted to have you here today. Let me tell you a little bit about the series that we're doing. In my role as Associate Vice President, I take very seriously the types of work that we're doing on campus that has to do with scholarly communication. And so a few years back, I decided that it would be a good idea if we started to have conversations on campus and presentations on campus about topics that were of interest to researchers, to our clinicians, and what better area than in the area of scholarly communications, at least in terms of the library. So about 2 years ago, we started what I would call an irregular series of conversations, and we've done things on publishing ethics, about research infrastructures, publishing ethics meeting today, and one on metrics, I think it was last spring. And as we find topics that are of interest, we have tried to put together programs that will be of interest to our community. This was kind of a perfect storm. Last year when we had our metrics session, we asked people in the audience what they wanted to hear more about. And between the conversation and the questions that we got from the audience, first of all, there were a lot of questions about ethical issues in publishing. And then when we got the responses back with suggestions for the next type of sessions we should have, they also were interested in ethics. So then a few months later, we had a visit from our Elsevier team, Kelechi Okere, who's here today, and Andrea Riggs, and they were telling us about some seminars that they had done across the United States, and Kelechi will tell you a little bit more about those. And we started asking if they knew anything about publishing ethics. And lo and behold, it was just as if we erupted. It was like, oh, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this. And so we've really had a whirlwind set of circumstances that have brought us to this point today, with a lot of hard work by a lot of people. An Elsevier team, which consisted of Gali Halevi, Kelechi Okere, Carla Peroni, who's in the room, LaShawn McGee, who's also back there. Health Sciences Human Services Library team, Patty Heingardner, Stephen Douglas, Alexa Mayo, Christy Thomas, and literally a cast of thousands seemingly supporting those two teams. We have our audio video people here, Tom and Brad. We have folks I know back at Elsevier that have been making things happen on the website. And of course, we then assembled our third team, which is the real reason you're here today, our fabulous team of speakers. And we've appreciated the fact that we've been able to bring together such experts that are going to really explore the whole idea of publishing ethics. Interestingly enough, a lot has been said about a lot of the strife between publishers and editors and libraries, especially around the area of costs and things. But the reality is we probably have a lot more in common than just worrying about what the prices are. Sure, that's a big deal. But we're all interested, whether you're a publisher, an editor, an author, in the creation and dissemination of quality scientific information. And if you think about it, it's for the betterment of mankind. That's the highest possible purpose for doing this. So, of course, we always hope that this is being done ethically. And when we start to look at the topics surrounding publishing ethics, we hope that they're dealing with things like conflict of interest, manipulation of data, data sets, models, perhaps due to pressures related to funding or pressures related to promotion, tenure. We also think that there should be, of course, respect for privacy for researchers and their subjects, and honest, fair, non-competitive peer review. And of course, respect for intellectual property and copyright. In one word, integrity. So that's why we're here today, to talk about integrity, to talk about publishing ethics. And today, our excellent panel is going to turn around, and you're going to hear from experts in all sorts of fields, from publishers to legal aspects to the folks who are actually involved with publishing ethics from kind of an institutionalized view, the COPE folks, and of course from the viewpoint of the researcher. So again, welcome, and I hope you have a thought-provoking and thoughtful day. Thank you. And
good morning. How's everyone doing? So thanks again for showing up, or signing up and showing up. I'm really glad to see this room full with a lot of faces. places. My name is Kelechi Okere, and my role at Elsevier is a Regional Sales Director, working with a lot of the research institutions in this area in the Northeast US. We try to do these events every year in different parts of the country. And also, since I'm also in charge of business in Canada, we also do it in Canada, but really around the world. And this is really an outgrowth of the Library Connect newsletter, as well as other newsletters that we've started to publish. And it's really a way of just sharing information, exchange of information with our customers. It's a way for us to, as MJ explained, put forums together that aim to just share information and also get information back from not just the customers, but also end users of the products that, the publications that we put out. So I hope that you'll enjoy today's session. We have a very good, great panel of speakers for you to hear from today. In the info packet, you'll find that it's a nice little book that we just put out, charting a course for a successful research career. So this is really for early career researchers and those that interact with early career researchers, whether you're a librarian, a professor, or whatever your role might be in the academy. This is an interesting book that we just put out. So we just thought that we put this in the information packet for everyone. In the folder, you'll see the agenda for today. You'll also see the speaker bios. So just take your time to read those. There's also a feedback sheet. We ask that you really do us a favor of filling this out after each session. This helps us improve these types of programs. And also, if you, at the end of the day, if you like the program and there are topics that you want to explore more, please do talk to us. You can either talk to myself, LaShawn, who's walking around, or Carla, or any of the Elsevier folks. As it happened with this one being put together because of a conversation with MJ back in April. This is often how these programs come together. Someone through a conversation mentioning that we're interested in this and we want to explore these different topics, and then we put our resources behind it to make it happen. There's also a copy of the Library Connect newsletter in your folder, as well as the Academic Executive Brief. This is the inaugural issue of this particular publication aimed at the leaders of research at the Academy. So that is the information packet, so take your time to just go through them. Some ground rules. The session is being recorded, so I would ask everyone to just put your phones on silent. So mine is already on silent. But also so that we are not interrupting the speakers. The restrooms are, when you go out that door, the main door, behind the back wall, so just your immediate right once you walk out the door. As we go through the session, there are microphones, so if you have a question, to help us capture your question on camera, do wait for LaShawn to bring the microphone to you. And what we'll do is we'll give each speaker a chance to give their presentation. And then towards the end of the day, we'll have a Q&A session. So as the agenda, we'll have Mark Seeley, who is the Senior VP and General Counsel of Elsevier, come up first. Then we'll have Geraldine Pearson come after him. And again, the program is sort of in succession so that we can be very efficient with our time here. And after Geraldine, we'll then have Stephen Munger, who's a professor here at University of Maryland, Baltimore. Then we'll have lunch. And after lunch, we'll have 2 more speakers, and then we'll end with the Q&A panel. And along the way, some of the speakers will have some, maybe be able to take 1 or 2 questions, but for more in-depth questions, you can hold those until the Q&A panel this afternoon. Yeah. Sound good? Fair? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, so I will give the mic over to Mark Seeley, who will take us through the first session. Thank you.